Hello. Sorry, yes. Had a phone call. Now, for the next one here, it says x is less than 4. You got created control. I'll say x is 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's like, it's less than 4. Therefore, it is a closed bracket. Sorry, not closed bracket. It is an open circle. Okay? So you don't need to, worry too much about this stuff other than making sure you type the right number in. Okay, let's move on to the next section here, drawing graph. That's the more interesting. Well, that's where your graphics calculator come into play. Okay, first one here. Oh, don't tell me this. Oh yeah, first one here. Now, like when you have too much data, make sure you press Control. Make sure you press Control, and it deletes everything, including anything you've saved as well. Now, a couple of important steps to learn is if you press this button, it creates a scratch pad, okay? Let's try this again. Press this button, it creates a scratch pad. How do we do this? Why is there a graphing thing? You can always move the mouse cursor to that. Yeah, there we go. I'm pretty certain there's a shortcut there, but if you can't do that, use the mouse cursor. Now, the beauty of this is like, if you are opening this every single time, right? I accidentally go out, I go out, I open this graph, I come back out again, open this again. You see, the number of tabs starts to open and it becomes more. And so if you press Control up, it tells you everything that's open. Some of you, I've seen some people with like 20, 30 of them open. That's completely crazy. Look guys, maths, any subjects you do at school requires your being organized. Being organized, you win half your battle. Know your own strength and weakness, you win the other half, or almost the other half. Then you need to know what's going on in the test. Okay, so knowing is the key, right? First one here, negative half x plus 3. Well, fraction, first of all, first 1 over 2. X, I think you can just press X in that one there. Boom. It draws the graph for you, okay? Listen very carefully. Menu, trace graph. If you move it around, they literally tell you the y-intercept. I mean, if you get this wrong, I mean, I have no more words, but like, they literally tell you what is the y-intercept. Okay? You type it there. So you put a dot 3. I've already done that. Now, the x-intercept is the more interesting one. It's harder to actually find. That's what the graphics calculator. 0 represents the x-intercept. It is on 6. Okay, so 6 is where that is. For that one here, our graph, it's like, our graph is actually here. And so, look, if you're not sure, use your calculator. Use your calculator as like the ruler itself here. You go straight line across, something like this. You got your graph there. For your second graph, I'm gonna put that here and draw this. This is where you open a new graph. I've already opened too many pages. Control and no, I don't want to save anything. Now, just make sure we understand the setting is correct. Let's have a look at the setting. Now, when you are drawing graphing, you want things to be on approximate, okay? Otherwise, you get horrific numbers, like on the axis when it comes to decimal. Now, how on earth do we draw? This is called an intercept form. Those kind of equations are called gradient intercept form. So it's like there are specific names for this, which is not something that you need to know too much. But anything with x and y on one side, press delete, go to 6. See that these numbers on the side represents the shortcut. Press 6. By year 12, if you're learning about to use the shortcut, you should be able to press the number really quickly. And that's what CAS calculator skill require you to do. Shortcut is the way forward. Minus 3x. I don't think you need to use the multiplication sign here. Equals 2. Boom, the graph is drawn for you. But this is a bit too small. So I'm going to zoom in a bit. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in a bit. See, if I use exact value, these numbers here, you'll get like 9,000 divided by 2 or some weird stuff. Make it big enough, all right? Something large enough. Menu, trace graph. Okay, I'm going to go to y-intercept first. Y-intercept is at 1. Okay, y-intercept is at 1. What is the x-intercept? The x-intercept is 0. Now, negative 0.662, you should realize this is negative 2/3. Okay, negative 2/3. Now, that's the basic we require you to actually know. Well, you don't have a ruler, no problem. Use your graphics calculator as the ruler. Remember, why do we teach, why do I teach you guys engineer or, robotics or anything hands-on subject? That's called improvisation. I'm not going to do next to it because it's exactly the same type of question. So we're going to move on. We're moving on to the next section here. We've already done that. But now, finding the equation of the line. My goodness, like this is where things can get a bit convoluted. Please watch this very clearly. To do that, instead, we're not doing any of this. We need to go to the graphing section. This is the data statistics side. So X and Y. Do we know what is the X and Y? Well, it's 0, -1. So 0, -1. Okay. Next one here is 1, 1. Okay, so what do we do here? We go out, we go to the purple section. We go to the purple section tab, X, horizontal tab, Y. So they got the graph. Now, why does this doesn't look like the graph you got? Because they only give you the zoom off for the data you need to have it. So it's efficiency. So menu, remember, menu, analyze, regression. I mean, you can either one is fine. It's just that we want it to be Y equals to MX plus C. Or in this case, they go MX plus B. Now, folks, the C and B are all constant. It doesn't really matter. You can call it A if you want to. Boom, they give you this answer. Now your equation is Y equals to 2X minus 1. All right, so Y equals to 2X minus 1. You do exactly the same thing here. In fact, you don't even need to start a new page, unlike the previous one here. All you need to do is control left. Wait, hang on. Control left, you go back to, now control left and right means you go left and right on the tab here, tab. Okay, so you go, I mean, look, this stuff requires constant use of the CAS calculator. None of this revision is useful if you haven't done enough of these revision questions, okay? Cheat sheet is useless. In fact, cheat sheet is completely useless unless you have actually done the number of hours of study for the subject. If you're relying on cheat sheet, it's not going to work. I can assure you that. All right, the cheat sheet is never going to work unless you have spent the number of hours. Now, what is the rough guideline of the number of hours? Every hour you have at school, you need to spend that much time at home studying for it. Bare minimum. Control, right? Now, the view, like the zoom is no longer, again, the zoom is no longer as good, so we're going to use data. Okay, so it's much better data. So the Y value is negative 0.3333. You should realize that this is negative 1/3. Okay, so your equation should be negative 1/3 X minus 1. Okay, something like this. Okay, so let's move on to the next equation here. Okay, so we're doing this. Now remember, you are simply solving for it's a Pythagorean theory plus b squared. That's what you're doing. That's all you are doing. Okay, so our c squared is root 13. We simply need to find out the distance between the 2 points. Okay, and also 1 plus 1 minus negative 1. All of that becomes a square. And you basically solve for A. Okay, that's all you're doing here. Now for this particular one here, now this is where we get the graph function going. So control and, no, we don't want this. We go to calculator page. Now, for this one here, we can't do it right now. We need to make Y the subject, to make a Y equals to something. So menu, algebra, solve. So it's 3y minus x equals to 6. We're going to go comma y. Now, why is it not comma 6? Because we need the answer to be y equals to something. We need it as y is, that. Now again, because we are doing, now that we're back into the actual algebra stuff, we need to make sure your things are back to exact format. Okay? Okay, and so we are back to here. But remember, my previous page is 1.1, control left. And I think if you run the answer again, oh dear. There we go, much easier results. So x plus 3, okay, but if I'm not happy with the answer, I go algebra, I'll go algebra expand, surprising, expand, rerun the thing, just simply go back and delete the equal sign, the y, you go close bracket, boom, x over 3 plus 2. So y equals to x over 3 plus 2. That means the m value is 1/3. Now 3 times 1/3 equals to 1. So this is neither parallel nor perpendicular. Okay? So it's like this one is neither. Okay? And so last one here, again, we simply want to go back and do this again. Rerun the previous equation. So this time is 4x minus 8. So 4y minus x equals to 8. Rerun. Again, I'm not too sure about this. Expand. Okay, so x plus 8. Oh, excuse me. Oh, man. Yep, x over 3 plus x over 8. So x over 3 plus 8 over 3. So y equals to x. That means your gradient is 1/3 again. Okay, and so this is not the same. So this must be neither. Okay, their gradient is 1/4. That gradient is 3. Our gradient is 1/3 from previous calculation. Our gradient for this one again is 1/3. Okay, I'll have another video for the next part.